Hey my friends, this is The Art of Prepping. Welcome to episode 7 of my gear vlog. Today we're talking about long runtime lights for preparedness. First we need to talk about the ANSI-NEMA-FL-1 specification. Now this came about in 2009 when the American National Standards Institute got together with the National Electrical Manufacturers Association, and they came up with a standard to measure light output and runtime. And that's obviously called the FL-1 standard. And this specification kind of helps Americans, to understand how the light's going to function on some level. And there are some flaws with this particular standard, in my opinion, because they now go all the way down to 10% brightness. So they test the light from when they turn it on at peak brightness all the way down to 10% brightness, and then they stop the test. But the problem is there's a lot of lights that at 10% brightness really don't put out enough usable light to do almost anything, much less the light is very close to failure. And I think it's a little bit dangerous to actually do tests in that manner. And the previous way that they used to do this test was that they would run it down to 50% brightness. And I think that's a lot of a safer bet. You're going to have a lot more usable light, and you kind of give the consumer a little bit better heads up. So the standard now, the FL-1 standard says this: if you have 1,000 lumen light and it's rated for 3 hours, well, after 3 hours, that light's going to be pumping out, if you're lucky, about 100 lumens. But in the real world testing, typically you're not going to even get 100 lumens because a lot of these lights are tested in like controlled environments. So you have to have a certain range of temperature to maximize the light. You're going to have have certain types of batteries, lithium batteries and, really high quality alkaline batteries are going to probably be the best way to go, but not everyone uses those types of batteries. So there's a lot of variables that go into how bright and how long, your light's going to run, because your light, at least most lights that are designed are to step down over time. When you have 1,000 lumen light, most likely it's only putting out about 1,000 lumens at most for just a few minutes. And then it starts to step down slowly and slowly as the voltage goes down. So just be mindful of that. So when we talk about lights here in a moment, and we talk about lumens and run times, just remember these are based off of that FL-1 standard, which says that they time the light all the way down to 10% brightness. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with my first recommendation. That's the Maglite ML50LX. And that comes in a 2-cell and a 3-cell configuration. It uses C type batteries. And the first is the 2-cell C Maglite here that is pretty impressive on the Eco mode. And this Eco mode puts out 23 lumens for 112 hours, which is about 4.6 days. That's a lot. Even if you cut that in half, that's still a lot of runtime. The 3-cell version pumps out 20 lumens for 153 hours, which comes out to be about 6.3 days. And the Maglite is kind of a tried and true. It's built really well, and that's one of the reasons I picked it. The next is a headlamp. It's the WildTAC A2S. On the low mode, it pumps out 24 lumens for 4 days. And it does have a Firefly mode at 0.3 lumens for 59 days. But just remember, though, even that 0.3 lumens is going to continue to step down, and probably within just a few days, the light's going to be so dim it may not be usable for your task. And this is running off of one 18650 3400 milliamp hour lithium ion battery using a Cree XPL V6 LED. But the price on those WildTACs are amazing, about $30. And the Maglites, I noticed that they were going for around $40 to $45 on Amazon. The Streamlight Siege is the next, the 3D cell version. And I think they typically range between like 45 to 55. It's been like about a year since I looked them up, but that was, from my memory, that's what they were going for back in the day. And this lantern is amazing. It's built very well. I have the smaller version that runs off of AA batteries, but I do have plans on getting this D cell version. But it uses 3 D cells, and it runs for a whopping 12 days or 295 hours, starting out at 55 lumens. So that's really awesome on the low mode. And in closing here, I want to just close out with one more lantern. And this lantern is drop tested at 15 feet. It's built like a tank, and it's actually pretty affordable. I haven't priced this light, but if I would have to say that it would probably be within a pretty good, budget conscious type of price range for most people. I would just guess between maybe $30 to $45 range. And I think that a lot of Walmarts carry this one, from what I've heard from friends. And this is the Rayovac Workhorse Pro virtually indestructible lantern that uses 3 D-cell batteries. On its low mode, it puts out a whopping 68 lumens for 260 hours, and that comes out to be just under 11 days. That's pretty impressive. So these are my picks. These, at least some of these have been out for a few years, and I kind of did that on purpose just so that we can have some tried and true options here. I don't always just jump at the newest stuff. If they're not tried and true, I typically don't want to really recommend for long-term use or for really serious emergencies, because I would want to make sure that these are going to last for their long term. What would you recommend though for long runtime lights? As always, thanks for your support. Catch you later.